what does my favorite NBA basketball player of all time, Kobe Bryant, have to teach us about medicine? Nothing. Nothing. Except the mentality surrounding failure. And I'm talking about failing publicly. I think that as trainees on this medicine journey, there are plenty of opportunities to fail. Considering the pre-med stage, getting into med school, year 1, year 2 of med school, adjusting to that, having to write USMLE Step 1, Step 2, applying for residency programs, USMLE Step 3. There are just so many junctures along that journey for you to fail. But usually those failures are handled privately, right? Like nobody has to know about those. But once you enter residency, you're a trainee. And so the amount that you don't know clinically dwarfs the amount that you do know. And so there's just plenty of opportunity for you to misstep. And those missteps will be taking place in front of people. Could be your attending who's pimping you, trying to ask you questions until you break. It could be you having to place a line, do a procedure you haven't done before and not doing it successfully. It could be you not communicating to the patient well or to other health care professionals well. All of that can go awry, and that's going to be in front of people. And it can be an embarrassing experience. Much like Kobe Bryant in his rookie year, at the second round of the playoffs in the Western Conference Finals, shooting 4 air balls, 4, in crunch time, leading to the defeat of his team, the disappointment, not only in himself, but also in his teammates, the disappointment of the fans, all of that. How did he deal with that? Let's hear from the GOAT himself.
Right, like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out. Plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I gotta get stronger. I gotta train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I gotta tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale. Say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there.
Felt like everybody had ripped me off after those air balls.
My brain cannot process failure.
And I got home, it's probably like 3 in the morning. And I went down to the high school. The janitor let me in the gym. And I shot all day. I mean, all day. Right after that playoff game. Just kept shooting and practicing. I'm just gonna keep on going, no matter what. Fail 10 times, now 11th time is gonna be great. It's not the 11th time, the 12th time is gonna be great. But eventually, it's gonna happen. I got a chance to let out the steam of disappointing my teammates and millions of fans.
And that right there is why this dude is my favorite NBA basketball player of all time. The man said, yes, he felt embarrassed. Yes, he was disappointed, but then he had to get over himself. He could only go so long with the woe is me, this is bad, I'll never get past this. And as cold as that is, imagine the weight of the embarrassment that you feel publicly after getting 5 questions wrong that your attending just asked you, and him telling you or her telling you, you got to go do some work. And then somebody subsequently coming by and being like, get over yourself. Like that's tough. That's tough, right? But I get it. It's like this is just the pathway forward. You know, once the misstep or the failure has happened and you feel that weight of that embarrassment, allow that to drive you, right? After you lick your wounds for a bit, start breaking down the failure and seeing where it is that you went wrong and how you could get better. Allow that to propel you forward. And yes, that happened publicly. And some people, in our profession, the nurses or your co-residents, or other health professional trainees that are watching may see that failure, and that may be their first impression and also their lasting impression of you. But who cares? Who cares, right? This may be the only opportunity that you get in your career to be excused for your missteps or your failures or your lack of knowledge, your ignorance. And so embrace that and welcome that. It's something that I'm trying to learn myself. I'm now a PGY2 R1 diagnostic radiology resident, and every day I have to contend with the fact that the amount that I don't know dwarfs the amount that I do know. And so I'm just constantly looking foolish. But that's okay. I go home, I see where I went wrong, I study, I come back, I'm a little better. And that's just how the process goes. And so my man, Kobe Bryant, I think has reminded me of a very valuable lesson that I wanted to share with all of y'all. Dare to fail publicly. New Answer, MD, bringing you new answers.